Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Today we'll talk about the upcoming softball season, and my guest today should know a thing or two about the upcoming softball season. Beth Mullins, head coach. Thanks, Beth, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And softball season starting up here in a little bit. Even though it's early in the semester, you guys have been going for about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
So I know you've got to, appreciate some of this good weather that you've had these past few weeks. So.
Yeah, I've been talking to people who've been asking. I think we had our coldest day yesterday, and the high was still in the mid-60s. So we've gone. Yesterday was 2 weeks, so we've gotten a lot accomplished, and it's been fun with the weather we've been having.
And of course, I would think that before we talk more, the season having this weather has got to help you out a lot in preparation, because if you're normally this time of year you've got to worry about the cold conditions, but you haven't had to worry about that so far.
I mean, we're really blessed because we have a great facility that has a great indoor facility to it. So if we ever need to, we can go in there, but we have not had to use it yet. And so I have no doubt, we always say when season starts, it's going to be cold. So we'll probably end up using it then. But the great thing about our schedule is we open down in South Florida. So I think this is preparing us for kind of what our first week's weather is going to be.
And of course, before we get into the schedule, let's kind of talk about how things look so far with the team, especially since the transition from your fall schedule into where you're priced right now. How's the team looking?
Good. I mean, we started at the beginning of the fall. We have a lot of newcomers, which I love. I mean, I think it's great having, new blood and excitement and everything, but you got to learn the culture. And I think over the fall and the last 2 weeks, I think we've seen a lot of growth from them. And I give our upperclassmen a ton of credit for that. We've got great leadership this year, and that's exciting. And I think they've showed the young kids how it's supposed to be done. And I give our newcomers a lot of credit of buying in and really getting better. So I was proud of them. They obviously went home over the break and did a lot of work because they came back in a really good position, and we've done nothing to get better the last 2 weeks.
And of course, with the youth and being a relatively new coach still, it's good to have some youth to kind of transition and get more into your coaching style and have a team that you can lay that basis down with the young team? Yeah,
I mean, with the last 2 years, I've been blessed. We've had, good talent, great kids. I mean, I've loved everybody that I've worked with, whether I've recruited them or not. But yeah, I mean, it's been nice to be able to go through the recruiting process. Like this freshman class is the first one we actually, met them before they actually got here. So it's kind of neat. And then obviously next year will be the same thing. So it's just exciting. Again, all of our kids that are here are bought in, and they love Troy, and they love being at Troy, and it's a special thing.
We'll talk a little about the schedule, because softball fans were kind of spoiled last year. The first, month and a half, it was something like 20 games you had at home, but this time not so much to start off season. So.
Yeah, I think the first 20 of our 21 games last year were at home, and it was great. I mean, I'm not going to lie. We had great crowds. We had great weather. I mean, we put on 3 really good tournaments. I don't know in the end if it helped us, I think we got really comfortable, and then when you go on the road, it's like, so yeah. We kind of changed it up, and we're actually going to go on the road the first weekend and kind of, get comfortable being uncomfortable, and going to come back to where we love to be, which is at our home facility with our home fans. And then the last weekend of the preseason, go down to Baton Rouge and play, pretty much top 25 opponents and preparing for the conference season.
And you talk about that LSU trip, and there's opportunities in that pre-conference schedule to see some top talent teams, including one that's going to be coming to Troy, which will be kind of a pleasant game, I guess, for real sports fans out there. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think all 4 of our tournaments are going to be really good competition. I think, it laid out really well for us. I think we've got a lot of top 25 teams, but a lot top 50 teams, which is kind of where you want to be, and obviously have a good record against those teams. And later on, I think in April, is Florida State's actually going to come here and play a doubleheader. We went down there 2 years ago, and they're returning the favor. So hopefully we can keep that going. They'll probably be a top 5 team when they come, and they're well coached. And Southern Miss is coming into town. That's a great rivalry to have, and it's going to be fun. I mean, we have a great facility, and we have great fans, and we have a lot of really good teams that come in here and compete. So it's good softball.
We'll talk a little about expectations of conference play. How's the conference shaping up, and kind of where do you see your team kind of fitting in on the rankings there? So.
I tell it all the time. You gotta love to be put into the fire and love to compete to be in the Sun Belt in softball. I mean, it's a great conference. I mean, it's the top mid-major conference, and it competes in the top 5 or 6 conferences every year. And I love it. I mean, you can't just show up, and you can't just show up expecting to win. And everybody in our conference brings it every weekend, and it's awesome. I mean, one game can separate third from seventh, and I think that makes it really exciting. And you got to bring your A game every single weekend, so I'm excited.
Well, we're excited to see the start of the softball season. When can fans see Trojans at home for the first time?
February 17th.
All right,
Yes.
February 17th, get a chance to see them at home. A little action before that, but here's looking forward to a successful season for the Trojan softball team, and good luck this season.
I appreciate it.
All right, and thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.